much are you looking forward to coming back to Hampton for another semi-final?
Well, I mean, it's more important for the players really, and they know they're a game away from another final. They've handled these occasions pretty well over the past, few seasons, and obviously the cup record's spectacular. But it's important we, approach the game the right way. We know we're up against a very tough opponent. And Aberdeen have had a great record themselves in recent cup competitions, so it should be a really good game of football.
How beneficial has it been to have a full week to prepare for it?
Yeah, good. It gives some bodies a chance to recuperate. A few injuries, injury scares, to settle down, and we should have hopefully a full complement of players from the recent weeks to pick from.
Do you sense that the players are feeling any extra pressure with all the kind of treble talk?
I'm sure I don't know about extra pressure, but there is a lot of talk about that, and it's not going to go away. And but they know they're experienced enough now. They've done a double treble, so can they do a treble? I mean, they've got 4 games to overcome to do that, and it won't be easy. So the closer you get, the more difficult it becomes, and the expectation and anticipation builds, I suppose. But they've handled that pretty well.
Then we accept this as the key game, though, in terms of doing the treble.
It's a key game because it's the next one, and obviously this is a cup competition and it's a one-off, and we know, if you lose it, that's it, so that's probably why it's so key, because it's a knockout competition, whereas in the league you might be able to afford a defeat and you can still go on to win that.
How well have the players done in the last 2.5 years in the cup games, not to get caught out on any given day?
It's an incredible record. Was it 24 now? I think it's fantastic consistency and mentality as well. So I'm just looking for more of the same come Sunday.
Derek McInnes is saying all the pressure is on Celtic and on you. Do you think that's about mind games, or does he have a point? And
no, I think
do you relish that?
I think he has a point. Yeah, I think when you're at Celtic at any time, all the pressure's on you and the expectation is on you anyway. So it's nothing new. And from my own perspective, it's not important about me. And like I've said from day one, I'm here for the players. They're not there for me. It's important that I try and get them over the line in both the competitions now.
Do you think it will help you though if you did win this competition?
I've no idea. Everyone's speculating about, and it's all conjecture and it's all noise. All I can do is just focus on the games. I mean, 2 weeks ago we were playing Rangers and seemingly everything hinged on that result, and now it's the next one. So, I mean, it's just all noise as far as I'm aware.
How's it felt for you when you're the man in the job, albeit only till the end of the season at the moment, when you see other names being linked with the job?
You can't stop it, and that's natural, and it may be that's the way the club might want to go down that road. It's they'll make the decision. It's their club, it's the fans' club, and it's important for them that going forward they're happy with what they're doing. So regardless of speculation, it's inevitable anyway.
So do you tend to not pay attention to that? It's very much what you can do.
Yeah, I'm just concentrating on the here and now and staying in the present of the job until I'm told otherwise.
Neil, as you approach a semi-final, do you see any similarities from a personal point of view as you go into it from when you had the gig back in 2010?
Similarities? No, not really. Not really. I think different times and different circumstances, so they're very, very different now.
You talked about listening to chat about potential treble in Galway. When we asked Scott about it, he said, listen, what we try to do is normalise the situation in the dressing room. How do you go about doing that as a manager? Making the players feel normal?
Yeah, well, it's another game. It's the next one. It's the most important one because it's the next one, and that's really the mantra. And we know that everyone outside of the club would like to see us lose that domination, so that's the incentive for the players, is extra motivation, if you want to call it that, to keep prevailing and keep coming through these really stiff tests.
Where do you think your team are performing in terms of where you want them to be from where they are actually performing just now?
It's difficult to say. I didn't think the performance was that bad last week. The scoreline we didn't deserve the draw. Our finishing let us down, but in terms of domination and in terms of chances created, it was pretty good. So again, you get criticised for that, and maybe the criticism will hurt us all. and act as an extra motivation to not take anything for granted, which they don't. But they know they'll be fully focused come Sunday, and you know, Derek's done really well on his last couple of trips to Glasgow. You know, kept clean sheets and got decent results. So it's a familiar foe that we're coming up against, and we know the style of play. And it's a semi-final, and they're always quite tense occasions anyway.
Do you feel they're a different prospect in any way, given those results? Do you think they've maybe got a stronger mindset coming to these sort of games? Possibly. They've been a little bit inconsistent, you know, at home, but their away form's been pretty good. And it's a semi-final, and they'll want it as much as us. But again, I can't comment on their mindset. I can only comment on what we want to do. And that's to get on the front foot, you know, create a good tempo to the game and create some early chances if we can. But, you know, they're rigid. You know, they do defend well. They do specialise in making themselves difficult to break down. So it's something that we've analysed and looked at, and hopefully we can improve on.
Neil, it's almost like the weekly question, but do you get any update at all on the lads that are approaching the end of their contracts?
Well, Peter's here today, so we'll maybe have a chat with that, you know, after this, see where we are with it.
Any injuries ahead of the weekend?
No, we're all right. You know, there's a couple sort of missed a couple of days with a few bumps, we're just waiting on Ollie Burke. Really, he felt a strain in his gluteus maximus, Ronnie.
Have you got it?
So we're just waiting to see how he's going to be.
You know, you spoke there about how last week we created a lot of chances against Livingston and probably deserved to win the game, but it seemed to be after the back of that there was a bit of reaction among some about how Celtic had been playing since you came in. But yesterday was actually an article published on the website Modern Football which analysed Scottish football, and they actually made the case that a lot of the underlying performances and stats under both your Celtic team and your Hibs team have actually been a lot better than they might be getting given credit for. Do you feel that sometimes you might, I don't want to say be harshly portrayed as a manager, but sometimes people don't fully appreciate the football that your sides are playing and take the performances along with the results? Yeah, I
mean, sometimes you get a knee-jerk reaction, you know, emotional reaction straight after a game if it's the results not been what the fans wanted. But I have to look at the game in isolation and always look at, you know, attempts on goal, attempts on target, and possession. And if we were well ahead in that aspect, then, you know, the team's trying to do the right things. We're trying to entertain, we're trying to score goals, we're trying to play good football. Other teams aren't. You know, they're out to stop you, or they're out to barricade it, but I know which way I'd like to play. You know, and I understand it's other teams' prerogatives to play that way, and it's the onus is on us to try and break them down. But I think going forward, the style of play that we play will only enhance us in the future, rather than, you know, getting 10 behind the ball and having a low block. Anyone could do that.
In terms of going forward in style of play, whether you're a manager or not, people have said that you're going to be involved in the recruitment process. Is that a case of recruiting players for that style of play, almost the football you play is, to be cliche, the Celtic way, attacking football? Is it a case of recruiting players that can fit in and play that certain type of football?
Yeah, whether I'm the manager or not, yeah, we would like to be, you know, more forceful in the final third with, you know, pace and energy and people who can break the lanes and people who can get beyond opposition defences. No question that, and people who can, you know, score a lot of goals. But you have to remember, you know, Bayo's out. You know, he's ruptured his hamstring, so we've not seen any of him, you know, at all since he's, yeah, well, I haven't anyway. And, you know, Griff's been out for a considerable period of time, and, you know, there's a lot of goals in that kid. So we've missed that type of player. Odson's done a brilliant job, delighted with him. So maybe that's a little reason why we're not, you know, maybe as prolific in front of the goal, because we've got some important players out.
Just finally, one player that Celtic fans are getting excited about is Marian Shed, who's been performing very well out in Ukraine. Have you been tracking his performances? And he's been there amongst the goals recently.
Yeah, I think he got Ukrainian Player of the Year as well, so I think we're all excited about him coming into the building. And again, he looks a very exciting prospect. So hopefully we'll get to see him soon.
Can I get your take on something away from the Scottish Cup semi-finals? Hearts' decision yesterday to pull this part of their stand. Is that a bad indictment of where Scottish football's at the minute?
You'll have to fill me in on that, Roman. They closed it by.
So, as a result of flares and objects being thrown at the Edinburgh Derby, so it's from the Wheatfield stand, there was previous incidents, and by just taking the decision to say, right, about 200, 300 places there are no longer going to exist for the last 2 league home games.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big call from Monbudge, and it's got to be applauded. It's been going on too much. I mean, I don't know, many times I've spoken about it. There seems to be an underbelly for some reason this season where, I'm even watching, Motherwell Rangers last week, and James Tavernier had objects thrown at him. I mean, it's just totally out of hand. And Anne's come forward and taken some action. Probably be detrimental to her, but she seems to think that's the right thing to do. And it's unfortunate because I think there's a lot of good people who go to football games as well. And we're always talking about a minority, but it's got to stop. It's got to stop. It doesn't look good for the image of the game, and it doesn't look good for the image of the clubs, even though in the main, the product on the pitch and the product of selling the game around the world is pretty good.
Do you think this is one of the type of actions that might make it stop?
Hopefully, you hope so. But we've seen it far too often now, and it's not just confined to the derbies, it's been at other grounds, and it just seems to have started creeping in. There's an underbelly, going around the game, and even in England, we're seeing all this sort of racist and homophobic chanting, and it's leaving a really bad taste in the mouth, as far as people within the game are concerned.
Thanks, Dan.
All right.
Cheers.